welcome our principal dancers of Ballet Manila. We have Abigail Oliveira, who performs the main character, Odette Odile, for the one-man performances. Mark Sumilo performs the role of Rothbard. And joining us by Zoom are our guests from San Francisco Ballet. We have Catherine Bartman, first soloist of San Francisco Ballet. Nathaniel Remes, soloist of San Francisco Ballet. Prince Secret performing with Abigail for the one-man performances. And Esteban Hernandez, principal dancer of San Francisco Ballet. Prince Secret for 8 p.m. and 5 p.m. performances. So, hello and good evening. From the Philippines, hello to you guys in San Francisco. Please greet our friends here in Manila. Can we increase the volume of their Zoom video? All right. Can we do that one more time? Please say hello to our friends here in Manila.
Hello. Hi, can you hear us?
Yeah, now we can hear you guys. Thank you so much. Catherine,
Amazing.
Nathaniel, and Esteban, good evening from the Philippines. All right. So, given the time difference between Manila and San Francisco, we would like to encourage everyone here to first ask the questions for our ballet dancers in San Francisco. You might have a question for Catherine, Nathaniel, or Esteban. Anybody? Our friends from the media? And the press? All right. We have mics and our friends roving with microphones right there. Please don't forget to state your name and the media company you belong with.
Hi, I'm Mia from Sugar Smile. To Catherine, how has your time with the Washington Ballet and San Francisco Ballet influenced your approach to classical roles like this?
Yeah, we heard you a little bit, but I think we need to improve the volume here of the video, the Zoom video. Can we make some tweaks on that, tech team? All right. So go ahead. Do you have a follow-up question? Or would you like to ask it again?
How does your time with Washington Ballet and San Francisco Ballet influence your approach to classical roles like this?
All right, thank you so much, Catherine.
Thank you.
All right, do we have any more questions for our San Francisco guests? Tech team, can you please help us with the audio for the Zoom, please? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Hannah from Amazing Manila Journal. For Mr. Nathaniel, how do you approach partnering and building trust with a foreign dancer for this production?
Okay, can you repeat the question?
How do you approach partnering and building trust with a foreign dancer for this production? For Mr. Nathaniel. Thank you.
Well, I actually haven't the first step is and sit together and provide both of us are professional dancers and we've been doing it for a long time. So at this point, this journey is actually really long. Getting together this time and we have a little bit of time to decide to put together and develop really well that I thought, and I'm looking forward to the very
Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Any more questions for our for Kath, Esteban, and Nathaniel? Go on.
Hi, I'm Alan from Corner Magazine. My question to Esteban Hernandez. Coming from the performing Basilio in Don Quixote last year, how does Sacred challenge you in different ways?
So if I understand well, I think you're asking how does Secret challenge me as a singer, is that correct? Because I'm having a hearing also the questions.
Okay. My question is, coming from the performing Basilio in Don Quixote last year, how does Sacred challenge you in different ways?
Okay, yes. So Secret is a really interesting role to play. It's kind of a person that is on the cusp of becoming an adult and having to assume lots of new responsibilities. And so having to play that in a way that is relatable at the same time as easy to understand, I feel like it's the most challenging part of the role. Of course, technically, it's also quite challenging. It's one of the great classics that has been danced by all of the great dancers. But I think the most interesting and challenging part is making the character make sense in a way that you can understand why he is having a hard time assuming those responsibilities, and then the way of it, having to rule a kingdom, having to assume those responsibilities. I think that's the most challenging part of the role.
Thank you so much, Esteban.
And then answer your question.
All right, so everyone in San Francisco, what are you most excited about performing in the Philippines with Ballet Manila? Anybody can answer first.
I think for me, the hearing to see the dancers tonight, like, the entrada, or I feel like I didn't take that to me.
Yes.
Catherine, can you go closer
Yeah,
to the
I'm really looking
microphone?
forward to being back with Ballet Manila and getting to see everybody. Last time I was there, I had a really lovely time, and I loved meeting everybody and dancing with the people in the company. So I'm just looking forward to being back there and getting to feel the energy from everybody again. Getting to become a different and meeting everyone. I'm very
Thank you so much for your answer. Well, don't go just yet, all right? We have more questions from the audience. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Hi, good morning. I'm Michael from Making Trends. My question is for Catherine. Swan Lake is renowned for its technical and emotional demands. Which section of your act do you find most challenging and why?
One of the most challenging Sunday is individuality. So, with that we are two completely different, and you have a very time to make that visual. I didn't. So I think knowing the different personality of the family is really important. Have this community of Turkey, loyal, all that, who are motivated to give it a lot. And then you have the primary motivation to play. And if you look at the motivation, it's going to I think for me, the biggest challenge is making sure that as creativity artists, what it is like. So every aspect to adding something inaccurate on. And then I'm gonna
Thank you, Catherine. Any more questions? All right. Anybody from the press and the media? Okay, we have somebody from the back. All right, go ahead, please.
Hi, good morning. My name is MJ from Modern Journal Trends. My question is, being involved in this production, what has been the most exciting part of bringing this Swan Lake production to life, both artistically and logistically? Anyone can answer the question.
Okay, I think it's more of a question that I should answer, guys. Okay? Right? But I could ask, we could ask Esteban about how they feel about artistically performing Prince Siegfried. Is that what you mean? And Catherine artistically performing
Yes, ma'am.
Odette Odile?
Yes.
Okay. All right, guys. So, what's the most challenging part artistically of performing your roles in Swan Lake for Prince Siegfried and for Odette Odile?
I see, yeah, I think I misunderstood the previous question, but yes, this one I think I can answer with the same way that I did the last time. Yeah, I think artistically it's making the character relatable in a way that you, because I mean, the problems that he's facing is that he's having to assume responsibility and pick someone that he should marry, and he's not quite at that moment yet, and he doesn't feel ready to take on that kind of responsibility. And so I do think that artistically that's the most challenging part. How do you make the audience understand that sort of inner dialogue of having to make a decision and having to come to terms with your fate? And ultimately, he decides not to follow what his duty asks of him, and he chooses love over duty. And so I think that arc is quite interesting, and I think it's what makes it challenging artistically, but also very gratifying.
Challenging and gratifying. Wow. Thank you, Estella, for your answer. Okay, so do we have more questions? All right, how about questions for our panels here? We have Ma'am Lisa, Abigail, and Mark here with us. Any more questions from the press? Go ahead. All right.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Leo Mendiola from OONU.ph. So questions for Ms. Lisa. Why do you think Swan Lake is one of the most beloved ballets at the moment, and how do you think modern audiences can appreciate it today?
Swan Lake has been called a ballet warhorse because it is a ballet that any classical ballet company would put first and foremost in front of in a repertoire for a company to perform. A little bit like Nutcracker, but it is much, much more difficult than Nutcracker to mount. I think it is the standard that any classical ballet company can call itself a classical ballet company, that they are able to mount a beautiful Swan Lake. Again, because of the dynamics and the different demands of the ballet, where you really have to have at least 24 girls that are strong enough to dance all 4 acts as swans and as court maidens. And then there's also a lot of demand from the soloist roles of, say, the pas de trois in Act 1 and the jester in Act 1. There is a huge demand from the principals of Odette Odile and Siegfried. And so any ballet company that puts a Swan Lake on as I said earlier, has arrived and can really call themselves a classical ballet company in its true form and in its true being of a classical ballet company.
Thank you, Ma'am Lisa. Any more questions? Yes, go ahead, sir.
Hi, good morning. My name is James from Chicago Chronicles. This question is for Ms. Lisa. So you in the past you played Odette and Odile. And with that, what are the nuances that you emphasize while teaching or helping the dancers for this production?
I don't want to get very technical, okay? I remember coaching Catherine in the role and Abby, and I always tell them, and I tell the newbies now, like Pearl and Shira, and that don't forget the and count. Remember that, Catherine? Don't forget the and count. So in every pose, you pose, and there's the and one, and two. So that's that and three. So always don't forget the and count, because that's the way that you can like really elongate and make the pose and the dancing much more dramatic and much more bird-like, especially for this one. Wings are not just the arms, they start from the back, the shoulder blades and the upper back. So they're not just the arms, it's the whole back, the whole upper back. That's another. I can go on and on. The process is endless when you're coaching and when you're teaching and you're handing down a role. But I just feel very fortunate and privileged that I am able to hand down the roles that I danced before to the next generations of dancers. And it is a legacy that I'm very excited to be able to do.
Thank you, Ma'am Lisa. We're actually enjoying your demonstration. All right. Anybody else who would like to ask a question? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. May I ask our three artists, in the U.S. today, is there any kind of a sentiment as far as classical ballet is concerned, as against modern ballet? Is there any kind of a preference among the American public? Or is there some kind of a rivalry, perhaps, between the two genres? Thank you.
Okay, did you get the question? No, all right. So, Sir was asking if there was some kind of preference among the American public about the two genres between classical ballet and modern ballet.
Is this the camera? Guys, it's basically classical ballet and contemporary ballet in the United States. In the Philippines, people love classical ballet more than modern ballet. So in America, is it the same, or is there a mix audience for classical and contemporary ballet? Is there competition? And the question is for all three of you. Yeah.
Okay, Esteban will go first.
It's definitely a different. We have to do a little bit of both. I think in an effort in an effort to bring younger people into dance and making dance approachable. I think sometimes here in America you create programs that are different and that just can feel intimidating for people that have never been to a theater and have never seen it or have not been exposed to it. And so I do think that sometimes the more modern neoclassical approach approach is a good sort of gateway to bring people into the theater, and then through that introduce them to more classical stories and classical ballet. We do both, and I think both are extremely important. Classical ballet carries so much tradition, and it has an incredibly rich and beautiful history. And I do think that you can have one without the other. So I think ideally you have a good mix of both here, and so I think that that's different from the Philippines. But I will always love classical ballet, and I do think that it's sort of the core of why we do what we do.
Thank you, Esteban. How about Catherine and Nathaniel?
We're really fortunate in this ballet to kind of balance what we need to do very quickly. Like, we do class ballet at night, and ballet at morning. And I feel like from the art perspective, that really keeps it really the qualities of class ballet, but contemporary ballet, and you try to take from the contemporary ballet and let it into the period. How to make it more dynamic. You're always pushing classical ballet. You can't stay the same. Always has to be. And it's like, I think you all go in part of their not just for the artists as well. And I think not only are all surprised to say that, not only how to develop, and I only wanted to do classical ballet. So I think it can indeed
Thank you so much, Catherine. How about Nathaniel? Would you like to share your insights on that?
I agree with Catherine that as we're looking at have both, and we're putting all of the ministers that are very like follows very and that's one of all three of us that is through the first level has to go back there, has to the money, and we very big and then once you have rules and hands and go back your class. But I think it's both and to start.
Thank you so much, Nathaniel, Catherine, and Esteban. All right, any more questions? Okay, we have somebody from the back. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Hello, my question is for Abigail. Hello, I'm Joel. So I heard you played Swan Lake several times, maybe 3 times. So how has your approach to the role changed over the years?
That's a good question. I think first I always want to keep growing technically and pushing my body as much as I can, as far as I can. So I've been working hard on that, regardless of what the role is. When it comes to Swan Lake, actually, I feel a little more, like not artistically inclined. I've always been that way, but I feel like I can give a little more soul than before. I've performed it 3 times here as a full length. In between, I've also had chances to perform it, for example, the White Swan Adagio or Black Swan Pas de Deux in galas. So I've also had those opportunities to refine my technique, my nerves, my artistic qualities. So for me right now, it's kind of like embodying all of that
and trying to give a fuller Swan Lake, for me, a fuller Swan Lake. I can go on about how I felt like in the previous Swan Lakes, but this time around I feel like, oh yes, now I feel like I have a different story to tell. Even though it's the same story, it's different. It's a different Odette, it's a different Odile for me. At the same time, I have a wonderful new partner who I'm very excited to meet, Nathaniel, and I've been preparing, with a new partner comes new chemistry as well. So on top of that, I'm excited to discover where the story is going to go. I know how I would like to tell the story, but with another partner, it changes everything. You know, the feeling's different. I might discover, I know I will discover something new. So I'm very, very excited for this one. Every time you get to perform it is a different version. So I'm excited to discover what this is going to be.
Thank you so much, Abby. All right. Okay, we have one more.
Hello, good morning po. I'm James from Inside the Bag. The question is for Miss Abigail. Miss Abigail, the question is, how do you think your working experience with Sir Nathaniel and interpret the role of this upcoming show?
Well, I've never worked with Nathaniel yet, and we have a short time to prepare together, so I'm actually very excited for next week to kind of like go all in. But in order to go all in, I have been very fortunate to have Mark, who's my husband and my rock bard. He's been stepping in as the prince, and at the same time, I'm also very lucky to have our other principal dancer, Joshua and Ciso, who has also stepped in for me to kind of bounce and change between partners every day, just so I am ready to step in with Nathaniel, make his job easier, I hope.
We have a week.
We have a week, and I'm ready to constant rehearsals. But yeah, it's actually just constant rehearsals for me, and I've been trying to strengthen myself as much as I can as well with Ballet Manila's Ballet Sports Nights, just so I can sustain the short preparation, because I really want it to be special, and I really want to have the stamina to make something of it. So yeah.
Thank you, Abby. That's going to be a 1 week of intense practice. All right. We have a question. Go ahead, ma'am.
Hi po, good afternoon. This is Larissa from Manila Society. Kay Ma'am Lisa po. Okay lang po ba itanong if, can you mention po what are the highlights or ano po yung mga kaabang-abang to this one day na i-show po na compared po sa mga previous? And are there, first question.
No, there's going to be a lot of new stuff. Especially in Act 1 and Act 3, because I have re-choreographed Act 1 and Act 3. I wanted to tell the story a bit clearer. I wanted say the pas de trois not to just come in and dance a pas de trois. So I wanted them to be part of the court from the very beginning. That's one example. I also wanted to lessen the work of the girls in both Act 1 and Act 3 and have a little bit more of the boys dancing, because I know that 4 acts for the women is 1 point in Swan Lake is not a joke, especially since we are going to have 5 performances of the ballet in 3 days. And in Dumaguete, we're going to have 7 performances of the ballet in 4 days. So I really wanted this version of Swan Lake to have a little bit more shared responsibility between the boys and the girls, especially in Act 1 and Act 3, because I had the opportunity to change the choreography there. I also didn't have, say, the prince leaping around in Act 1. I wanted him to be more of the host of the party and just like, you know, gesturing to everybody and, you know, saving his dancing, a lot of his dancing for Act 3. And then I also wanted say, if you noticed in the beginning, in the excerpt that we showed, I had Odile dancing a little bit with the Spanish boys at the beginning. And so she doesn't just, you know, when you go to a party, I guess your desirability becomes like more when you're seen with other men. So the prince sort of gets jealous, right? And gets more attracted to Odile because she's actually in the beginning not dancing with him, but dancing with other men. So I wanted a little bit more logic and a little bit more flow and a little bit more character development. We also changed the ending. So that's going to be a revelation as well. And I wanted the Rothbard character to really dominate Odette in Act 2. So even the exit, for example, the exit of Odette, when at the end of Act 2, I put Rothbard there to carry her off. And he literally plucks Odette from the grasp of the prince. So again, I as artistic director, I have that ability to change stuff that I want to change. I'm not really changing the Petipa Lev Ivanov choreography, but I am changing a lot of the court and the group dances. So that's something that I'm really excited to present to the public. So it's a new Ballet Manila Swan Lake. Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, you have a follow-up question?
Yes, okay, Mark. Mark, how does it feel to play? Ikaw ngayon yung parang besides the lead role, isa ka sa kaabang-abang na character dito sa Swan Lake. How does it feel? And how did you prepare? Kasi medyo, di ba, I mean, iba yung kailangan mong angas na ilabas dito. So how does it feel? Hindi ka sweet thumbs, hindi ka pa sweet this time.
Hello. Preparation always starts in the studio. The rehearsals and the guidance of our artistic directors, Gerardo and Teacher Aileen. So it all starts there. And of course, knowing the story. And for me, any opportunity given to perform on stage, even if I'm dancing with my wife or not, but if we share the stage, it's always special. And it's an opportunity.
Thank you so much, Mark. All right, I think we have room for one or two more questions. Go ahead.
Okay na, ako ulit. Kaya Ma'am
Go ahead,
Liza,
ma'am.
ulit. Mabalik na lang po ako kay Ma'am Liza. Ma'am, may difficulty ka po bang na-encounter with regards, kasi di ba po we had foreign guests and then the BM dancers, is there, plus the costume and everything. Wala naman po bang naging hadlang para po mabago yung, sabi niyo nga po, may mga binago po kasi kayo.
We actually had a relatively long preparation period for Swan Lake. So and I'm a very fast choreographer. And you know, the dancers will speak for that. I like get things done in the studio really quick. In fact, sometimes when the dancers can't cope with the speed of how I like say, okay, you do this, and you know, that's why I'm really thankful that we have technology. So we have the ability to film rehearsals and choreography. So we have that ability to send the videos all the way to San Francisco for them to start learning and rehearsing. We also have the technology nowadays to, of course, like send back and forth, say, set designs and, costume. I think the key here really is that I have a really special and very effective team, not just dancers, but the whole production team of, costume makers, production designers, set designers, and everything else. So I get the job done in the studio with my team, and then everything else follows really quickly. Hopefully not just hopefully, but I know that when our guest dancers arrive on May 23, everything is going to be ready, and they're literally just going to dive into the lake. It's going to be relatively pain-free. I think that the most difficult part really for our guest artists will be fighting the jet lag. Because jet lag from San Francisco to Manila is quite difficult. Yeah, it's a 12-hour difference or 13-hour difference, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 15-hour difference. Yeah, 15-hour difference. So, but plus, I also am very confident because all three of them have danced Swan Lake before. Abby has danced Swan Lake before. So it's really, with every performance run, one grows into the role. I'm a lot more, not nervous, but I anticipate a lot more difficulty preparing the newbies for their roles in Odette Odile and Prince Siegfried for the Dumaguete run. But this run of Swan Lake is, I think, going to be a beautiful production, and I can't wait to present it to our audience that will come.
Last na po. So, isa na lang. Promise. Kay Mark lang po. Last na, lang po kay Mark. Mark, since isa ka dun sa parang main character, what is Swan Lake to you now?
Every ballet is special. Kasi nga, this is a very short career. So, once given the opportunity to perform, I always give my best, and it's 200% kasi we don't know. So, every ballet is special.
Alright, so to our foreign dancers, we have Nathaniel, Catherine, and Esteban. Before we do our Zoom photo op with you guys, would you like to give out your final words for our friends from the press and media here in the theater?
All about sharing. So, get the word out and
Thank you, Catherine, Esteban. Final words?
So we're really looking forward to being back there and to all getting to share this wonderful ballet, this wonderful production. I'm really looking forward to seeing the description, and even though I'm going to see some of the videos from the rehearsals, it's always different once you're actually there. And like I said, I love my time there last time that I was there, and I can't wait to see everybody and dance with everybody, share this wonderful ballet.
All right, how about Nathaniel?
And Swan Lake, iconic ballet, and someone go dance and administrative and other and working with everyone. It's always respecting and
Thank you so much, Nathaniel. Well, we're all excited to come see you here perform in the Philippines. Now, would like to do a Zoom photo op with you. Is that okay? All right.
And if you have not yet surmised it, Catherine and Nathaniel are a couple. I asked permission before saying that, right? Okay.
All right, we'll have this